Emily Chan. Okay, so Emily's in her 20s. She's a practicing actuary. I'm not quite sure what actuaries do, but I think but actuary is listed as the #1 job in the USA. And I think you need to have thick glasses and tons of brains to do this kind of work. Okay, and I'm totally biased in Emily Chan's favor because she's my daughter-in-law. Okay, my son Daniel met her in Nebraska while studying to be a vet, and he would have been completely distracted if his love for dogs had not prevailed in the end. Okay, so let me bring Emily on.
Hello everyone. I'm just gonna start sharing my screen here. Okay, can you see my screen? All good? Okay. All right, so thanks Pap for the introduction. So yeah, like you mentioned, I'm a qualified actuary by profession. And if you're wondering what a qualified actuary means, the process is quite grueling. Like during my time, there were 8 professional exams, and each one was like 3 to 6 hours long. And the passing rate for each exam was only about 40%. So yeah, to be able to pass all like 8 exams on my first try and attain my fellowship at age 25, it's something I feel really blessed to have achieved. But aside from being an actuary, the thing that I'm really passionate about is serving underprivileged communities. And I'll share more about this later on as well. So some of you must be thinking, if the actuarial profession is prestigious and it pays well, like what am I doing here presenting on this business? Well, firstly, I must say that persistency pays. It was actually my in-laws, right, who introduced me to the business. So my husband, Daniel, and I, we've been together for about 8 years now. And since day one, his parents have been trying to get me to look into this business. But I never quite saw myself outside of the actuarial profession because it's something that I have worked so hard for. But what changed? Well, last year, I think being quite an unusual year, as we can all agree, I became open to this business idea for the first time in years. And when I explored the business with an open mind and I understood what it could offer, I finally understood why my in-laws were as persistent as they were. And I would totally describe it like a parent-child relationship, right? The parent keeps telling you that this thing is amazing for you, can change your life if you do it. But as a child who sometimes think they know better, you insist on doing things your own way first. And then years later, in this case, 7 years later, you look back and then you think like, oh darn, I should have listened a little bit earlier. But thank God for parents who don't give up on their children. So what motivates me to do this business, right, is thinking ahead for my loved ones. Dan and I are really blessed to have incredibly loving families, but one dynamic that has proven to be particularly challenging in the past year is the fact that our families are in 2 different locations. So Daniel's family is in Singapore and mine is in Malaysia. And the weight of the issue is compounded by the fact that, my father has been ill and he's been battling cancer for the past 3 years now, right? And the reality is, as long as I'm in my current job, I'm kind of obligated to stay in Singapore most of the time. And I know for a fact that, one day in the future, I'll need to help my family out, right? So I want to do something about it while I can and not wait till it's too late. Um, so I believe all of us, we come to crossroads at different points of our life, right? For me, last year was a big turning point. So, seeing my dad go through everything that he's gone through because of cancer, I think it really gives you a humbling perspective on health. Like some people might think that when ill health happens to them, they are unlucky. But really, when you realize how complex our human body is and all the things that could possibly go wrong, it's really a miracle if nothing goes wrong. So good health is a miracle by itself, right? And it's not something to be taken granted for. And when it comes to health, though there are some things that are not within our control, there are also a lot of things that are within our control. So I wanted to work towards a career that can give me and my loved ones not just wealth, right, but health as well. Obviously, time and financial freedom is a big one too. I want to be able to work, my schedule around my loved ones and not the other way around. And as I alluded to earlier, geographical freedom really mattered to me as well because of my family dynamic. So if I could find a business that was global and that I could bring with me wherever I went, that would be a huge, huge plus. And I also just think that sky is the limit, right? When business is not bounded by a single location. And lastly, I wanted to leave a legacy and a lasting impact on this earth. I think we can all agree that, money is nice to have, but it's not everything. And I believe true fulfillment comes from things like service to others,
Mm.
like all those things that I mentioned earlier, like health, time, financial freedom, geographical freedom. I know I can't be the only one who wants those things, right? So the thought of being able to help other people achieve those goals was very, very attractive to me through this business platform. And if I can help someone become healthier, why not? If I can help them spend more time with their kids, why not? Maybe with their elderly parents, why not? um, and actually with the income that I was able to get from this business from the first few months, I was able to give a four-figure amount away to charities this past year. So it was very, very fulfilling in that sense. And yeah, I guess I just end with this quote here from Jim Rohns. So it says, what you become is far more important than what you get, and what you get will be influenced by what you become. um, and yeah, I would say that our hope is that whenever someone joins us in the business, they not only become a better business person, but also a better spouse, parent, child, sibling, friend, colleague. I can attest that that has been very true for me. It's really stretched me out of my comfort zone, but it's really helped me to see the bigger picture much better.
Mm.
And my prayer is that anyone who joins us will experience the same thing. So yeah, that's all for me, and I'll pass the time back to you, Pop.